Today we're going to take a look at the Altra Running Mont Blanc. It's $180 and it's already released. It has a Vibram Megagrip LiteBase outsole. Its midsole is Altra's new Ego Max foam, very lively. Of course, it has Altra's anatomical toe box and lots of room. I've taken them out on the snow and some road here in Park City, Utah, where the weather has been great. I met a friend here on the trail. I have not taken them on the mud yet, but that'll come soon. So I'm going to show you a few of the details and some of the tech here, and then I'm going to take you out on the trails on the snow here in Park City. So please stay tuned. Okay, everybody, Sam from Road Trail Run. We're going to take a look at the Altra Mont Blanc. It's out now, $180. It's a 30 millimeter heel, 30 millimeter forefoot, so it is zero drop, or as Altra now says, balanced cushion between the front and the back. It weighs in 9.65 ounces or 274 grams, so that's about the same as the new Speedgoat 5. Now let's start with the upper. Of course, we have Altra's anatomical foot shape here, and I've taken them out for a run, and I guess I'll spoil the sport. But this super broad toe box and upper holds the front of the foot and the midfoot super well. We actually have two kinds of mesh. Up front, we have almost a fabric-y kind of mesh. You can see here, relatively thin, with quite a few overlays. There's not much toe bumper, but you sit so far off the ground, 30 millimeters here, that you really have good support. To the rear, and this is almost a similar construction really to the Flight Vective from North Face, which is also along with Altra VF company. We have a non-stretch, very breathable rear mesh. I'm going to show you inside what that looks like. You can see that it's heavily reinforced with suede overlays. We have a gusset tongue. This is a very kind of light fabric gusset here. Let me see if I can grab it. You can see very soft. I'm maybe a bit worried about potentially dust getting in, but that mesh gauge is very fine. It is open but very fine. Today I ran through melting kind of snow, water. They certainly drain very quick. But let's, as I always like to talk about, let's talk a little bit more about the heel hold. You can see it's relatively pliable. We've got this piece at the rear and this wide landing, so I felt the heel hold is good here. It's good. There is a little sensation that there isn't much at the top, but for me the heel hold was good. My narrower foot a bit more challenged because I don't think this shoe, it may not work for super fast paces if you have a super narrow foot, but I have a narrowish foot and I felt it was adequate. I was running on snow today. But let's talk about what's underfoot. We've got Altra's new Ego Max foam. So this is a very responsive, softer, bouncy foam. I ran on hard packed snow, soft snow, and even some road. I didn't feel that it bottomed out at all. It just feels great. And you'll see more comments from the run, directly from the run, as I like to do it later in the video. Now underfoot, we have a wide platform. We have Vibram's LiteBase, so that means they lighten the outsole by making the base a little thinner, and you have this kind of skeletal arrangement. The lugs, I measure them about 3.5 millimeters here up front. Very grippy on the snow. Well, we got it turned upside down. Look how broad the platform is at the heel and the forefoot. I think, and the sculpting of the geometry, which Altra calls out as helping balance the cushion and move you along. It sure moved along. The wide landing here, I think, mitigates zero drop. I didn't think I was in a zero drop shoe at all in this one. Sometimes in Altra I do, but they've gotten better at balancing the cushion. So it's a 30 millimeter at both sides. So I took them out in Round Valley, Park City, and you're going to see some sights and my feelings from the run. But this is clearly, as Altra is saying this is their pinnacle trail racing shoe. It's going to compete with Hoka's Tecton X and Speed Goat and the Saucony Exodus Ultra and Endorphin trail shoe that are coming later in the year, but this one's available now. If you've never tried a zero drop, you always have to kind of go into it a little bit easy. But over the years, Altra's gotten better and better at balancing it. I really don't, at least in this shoe so far, not finding it really as low a heel as I have in the past, so it's very well balanced. So here's comments from the run. We're out in the snow in Park City. Stay tuned. Beautiful here in Park City. We're down in Round Valley here in the bottom, came down from that ridge straight ahead. The smaller one, obviously not the Wastach Crest. Might be a good time to say here that we are in Altra territory. Altra was originally a Utah company, a bit over towards the south there, but all the Altra shoes have been developed right on those mountains there on both sides, the other side being Salt Lake City. So this is home territory. So let's talk a bit about the fit of our Mont Blanc. Well, you have a dual component kind of upper here with the kind of non-stretch material, very secure through the midfoot, just fantastic. The heel, very secure, but because we have that top flap and kind of more minimal, not exactly what you're used to, but seems secure enough. Things are a little bit shakier on my right foot here. Let me get out of the sun. On my right foot, which is narrower, whereas my left is a bit wider, completely perfect fit at my usual true to size. So I would say if you have a narrow foot, you'll find the room quite roomy. You can see I'm wearing these Swiftwick trail socks, medium thickness, not super thick. If you have a wider foot, you are going to be in heaven here. So the hold is great. The front part of the upper, as we described earlier, is a more kind of dense, but very soft, kind of smooth, conventional mesh with these overlays. There's not much toe bumper here, but you're 30 millimeters off the ground, so you're probably pretty well protected from any bumping. So you feel absolutely no pressures whatsoever anywhere in the toe box, yet you're super well held. I think tribute for that needs to go to the excellent midfoot hold here, which really locks down through here, and also to the array of overlays, of dotted overlays, which create no pressures. There's no real toe bumper here, which is remarkable as well. So nothing to kind of butt up against. I'm not sliding forward as sometimes in a big Altra. Got cord-like laces here. They have actually some grip on them, so they hold pretty well. I wonder maybe if flatter lacers might have kind of brought the midfoot in more, but it's really not an issue. The hold is really good. I have had to retie once, I think, because they got a bit wet, but overall lace-up's good. You will notice, though, we do have a pretty short tongue, and the laces themselves are pretty darn short. So I don't think you'll be able to get a lace lock out of this set of laces. You've got that wide platform at the heel, almost Hoka-esque, and then of course the front, where when you're on the snow here, as you can see, it's kind of soft. There's a lot of grip, a lot of surface area for the grip from the Megagrip. The LiteBase, not super deep traction. I'd say 3.5 millimeters, but more than adequate because of all the coverage you have. That heel and how they've carved things out really seems to be working super well for me so far. You can see on the lateral side as well. Really excellent geometry. Geez, I wish they'd put a road outsole on this thing. It would be one heck of a road shoe as well. I'm going to comment a bit further about the ride so far, but I think this super wide platform and geometry at the rear makes these about the least zero drop feeling shoe I can recall from Altra or anybody else. I think that really helps us kind of establish a platform, particularly me, I tend to heel strike. Really, really nice platform here so far. Well, I'm going to keep going, exiting Round Valley and then making the loop along the highway on the snow trail. I just did a section of road here before I get back on the trail. I always like to run trail shoes on the road, and the Ego Max is really nice. It's definitely bouncy, but it's not mushy. It has sort of a soft feel, then a kind of a quicker impulse. Here on the road, the Vibram outsole doesn't feel overly firm, doesn't get in the way. It makes a little bit of noise, but still, this is a very quiet road shoe, trail shoe on the road so far. And the bounce cushion, that wide heel we talked about, also has me feeling that it feels a little lower than it did on the trail, but still doesn't feel that much like a zero drop shoe, because I think they've just done a great job with the geometry. The Mont Blanc gives Altra a ultra-worthy shoe with a great upper hold, and of course the anatomical foot-shaped toe box with plenty of securely held room. The Ego Max midsole is wonderfully lively and responsive and very stable, while our Vibram LiteBase Megagrip outsole has plenty of grip. So Altra has really modernized their trail running game here with this shoe, and we're going to have a full multi-tester review real soon. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great run.